Okay, to all you watching later on, welcome to the PrizePicks pregame show here on Knicks Film School. I'm Andrew, that's John. We are anxiously awaiting an announcement on the Knicks starting lineup, which could change the lines for tonight. But if you are joining us for the first time, you are probably not familiar with PrizePicks and who they are. If you aren't joining for the first time, thank you. But PrizePicks is one of our partners here with Blue Wire. It's daily fantasy prop bets. We're going to be committing
made easy.
We're going to be committing a five pick flex play based off of the lines available tonight. The link, if you're joining us right now on YouTube, is going to be pinned. I just put it in the comments. It's going to be pinned to the top of your chat. First of all, shout out Drew P for already joining us with a we need to trade either Cat or Turner. That is a state of the franchise.
You know what? Right, I think you should trade for both.
Why not?
I think
the East is big, John.
East is big, man.
So we're jumping on now, not knowing who the Knicks starting lineup is. There is a chance as we go through this that the lines will change. It might even get taken off the board if something radical happens to this starting lineup.
I have a funny feeling we're not getting anything taken off the board, and we're not getting anything that radical.
So I will say okay, John's phone just buzzed. I'm gonna assume.
That's a subtle reminder to put it on notifications, right? Or
for this you're fine because I actually want to know. I actually want to know if it's the pod where I get mad at you and yell at you. It's for this. I actually want to know if you get an alert that there is a lineup change. We should go over our past entries, specifically the one from Saturday, where for the Knicks Nuggets game, I took Julius Randle over assists. It was 5.5. He got 8. Evan Fournier over 3-pointers made 2.5. He got 3. The easiest one that I basically would have, I didn't do a pregame show, but I would have said take all of the Nikola Jokic overs that you can. After watching what Vucevic did to Mitch, I was like, Jokic is going to come here and do the same thing. I took over 1.5 made 3s. He made 3. And then thankfully Alec Burks is off the board because I couldn't wait to bet on him. And he went into a funk for the last 2 games. I went over 5.5 rebounds. He had 1. And then RJ Barrett, I went over 1.5 3-pointers made. He hit 1. So let me kick off tonight's festivities by doing my Knicks Film School duties. Okay. Because John Macri.
Yes. My daughter just handed me half of a Christmas tree, by the way.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Because I want to just do this until it stops working. RJ Barrett.
Yes.
His line for points tonight is 13.5. Okay. The only time he's gone over on his total for the past 13 games is the one game I bet on him, and he did it by half a point. It was 14.5. He got 15. The line is 13.5. I'm taking the under. That is our first pick for today.
I just want to say about my own statistical update on RJ Barrett. He's as of the last 2 updates in the Knicks Film School newsletter, star of the game standings. RJ was first each time because he had that run where he was getting he was a 3-star player for 3 games in a row, and then he had a couple of a 2-star and a 1-star, whatever. I am ready to do an updated ranking for tomorrow's, and I noticed RJ has not gotten a game star since game 8 of the season.
That's not what you want.
It's not what.
Hi, Scarlett, right?
It's
not what she wants either, probably.
No, it's not what she wants. But I hope your reverse jinx works.
I'm just gonna ride it tonight, and listen. He got called out by Tibbs allegedly, and he's gonna what? Oh, you want to have this? No, let's hash it
just
out.
Very briefly, because it does kind of have to do with PrizePicks in that, where do we think the mentality of this player / this coach is at right now? We all knew, anyone with a brain knew that Tibbs was going to walk back what he said as soon as he said it.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, I made my stance known on the pod, and I don't, and to me, Tibbs actually going out of his way. He talked for a minute. He tried to talk his way out of that for a minute and a half. That is only further validation that he meant exactly what it seemed like he meant after the Nuggets game.
I mean this with as much respect as possible.
Oh, come on.
I think there is a lot of confirmation bias in what anybody heard Tibbs say after the Nuggets game. If you want him to call out RJ, if you think he called out RJ, what you heard was him calling out RJ. If you thought that Tibbs just had his words taken out of context, which he then clarified, and that was how I took it, that he was just like, yeah, he was sick for a couple days. He hasn't been in the gym. He'll just get back in the gym like he always does and fix his shot. And then everybody ran with that, and then he confirmed it. But if you have a different narrative you'd like to follow, then
I heard what I heard.
I know. That's why I'm saying there is confirmation bias going on here. Look, the point is, the narrative I'm going to follow is that when I bet on RJ Barrett, he does the opposite. So I'm taking under 13.5 points tonight. You're welcome, Knicks fans, in advance. I need to talk real quick about what I did. Oh, Jay Boogie in the chat. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Salute.
What's up, Jay Boogie? How are you? Thanks for joining the dark side.
The dark side. I need to just quickly shout out what I did yesterday with PrizePicks.
Please.
So the Knicks were off, and I did a 3-pick power play, which if you get all 3 right, you get the same type of as a 5-pick flex play. So if you get all 3 right, you get 10 times your total. You have to get all 3 though. And so I took Zach LaVine over. I took Jokic assists over, hit on both. And then Mac Jones of the New England Patriots. Are you aware of what happened last night?
I mean, I haven't watched the football game in probably over a month, but I did happen to see your tweet about what did he throw, like 2 passes and they won the game or something?
He completed 3 passes. Okay. So I took the under in yards. And not only was he like under, the number's 3, not yards, pass attempts. Bill Belichick is not only doing it without Tom Brady, he's doing it without using Tom Brady's position. That man is an evil genius. I hate this planet, John. Okay, so let's get into basketball for tonight. The first line I think we'll go over is Julius Randle, because he's
where else would anyone want to start?
I have to say, he's the number 1 topic in New York at the moment, as far as basketball is concerned.
So, the funny thing is, he got like all the slings and arrows.
Mm-hmm. Slings and arrows
after the Denver game. And we've spoken about this on 2 pods. I don't need to rehash it. Just if you look at the numbers over the last 3, because he put up a lot of garbage time numbers in the Denver game. If you look at the numbers from the last 3 games, good numbers.
Since the change,
not since it.
Okay, because I keep not counting the Atlanta game.
Yeah,
You're right.
Exactly.
Since the official announcement of the change, he's put up productive numbers. Whether or not they've led to winning, obviously, is a different story because they're 0-3 since the change. But I mean, he's 24-9-8, 30-12-6, 24-7-8 since all that happened. The lines for tonight, he would hit over based off of these 3-game averages from the last couple days. 21.5 is the point line, 9 is the rebound line. I'm staying away from it, don't worry. 5.5 is the assist line. We've had a lot of success with his assist lines lately. And the only other one is free throws, which, no offense, Julius, I don't want to count on you making free throws tonight in order to win money. So I'm thinking, I'm sure you're going this direction too. Julius Randle over 5.5 assists is the most enticing line here.
It's the most enticing of those. I genuinely don't really know where to go with Julius at this point, because it seems like we're now obviously there's going to be 24 games into the season. We're almost a third of the way through the season. And the vacillation between the player who is like going to go over and above to get his teammates involved, and between that and the guy who's like, I got to rediscover my form last year and get buckets because everything rolls off of that, has been so wild. And I thought we were going back in the direction of the assists. I as I said on one of these pregame shows, I'm like, I think he's going to go on one of these assist runs. And now I'm back, and I don't have a lot of confidence. So for me, I don't think I want to take either. I'll say this, actually. I think I'm a little bit more, I was gonna say I'm more confident in predicting that he will look for his own shot tonight. However, the Spurs are playing some solid defense right now. And I don't know that I want to take any Nick overs for points, but at the same time, I'm sitting here talking out both sides of my mouth. I don't feel comfortable taking the Julius under on points or assists either.
Okay. Even though what he's been the last 3 games as he's run the offense through him, he's gone over in assists. That's the thing. He's passing. As long as guys are open, he's passing, No,
I know.
And maybe this is the game RJ hits more than 1-3 when he passes it to him.
Keep saying it.
I am speaking it into existence, What if this change that Tibbs is mulling is what? Quickly starting Mitch is sitting. I'm going to go Randle at the 5 and RJ at the 4. Then it's just Randle and 4 shooters.
There's too much smoke around it's just going to be Noel.
It's going to be Noel. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, Tibbs has shocked us a few times already, right? He started Emmanuel quickly in the game. He started Alec Burks over Kemba Walker. He ditched Kemba Walker from the rotation. I think Tibbs is getting to a point or is at a point of desperation, and nothing would shock me. Man, if we got Obi I was about to curse. If we got Obi, because that's how excited I would be. I think I referred to this as the wet dream in this morning's newsletter. If we got Obi in the starting 5, I mean, give me all the double the Julius assist over under, and I'll take it.
I saw a lot of this going around on the good old bird today, twitter.com.
God bless you for going on that thing.
Just at what point are we just going to accept this not happening? I'm not even saying you're saying I know you said it's a pipe dream, but I saw a lot of people being if I were Tibbs, and it's we've been talking about this since the summer. This is not the lineup he's going to go with. Oh, did your light die?
No, it didn't die. It got unplugged. And no, I unplugged it affirmatively and replugged it in because a pop-up kept going on my screen and I didn't know how to make it go away, and it was annoying me.
Okay.
Probably not going to do anything.
I would also like that to be the surprise lineup change. I think we're getting Nerlens Noel, and that's I think the direction this is going.
Look, you made a good argument for the Randle assist. I would, if I was forced to take one, I think I actually would take the Randle over assist. What is it again? 4.5?
5.5. Yeah, he's hit that over in each of the last 3 games. And if you want to go points, he's also hit the over in points, 21.5 in the last 3 games. Now that they're running the offense through him, he's going to get his points.
Yeah, I actually
attempts are up too. So.
I think the Spurs. I think the Spurs were a pretty decent matchup for him to get this point. I don't know. I just I don't have any. This is the hard hitting analysis you all came here for. I know. I would probably go assist if you put a gun to my head to pick one of the two. But I don't know that I love either of them. That's
okay.
All.
Your boy Dejounte Murray. Lines for him tonight, 18.5 points.
Doesn't matter what they are. Doesn't matter.
Just take all the overs.
It's just you can't take all the overs.
Why not?
If you could, yes.
Okay. So it's 7.5 rebounds, and that's it. It's those two, 7.5 assists. Excuse me. So those are the only 2 lines available for Dejounte Murray. You see him getting more than 18.5 points tonight.
The points is the one I would probably be the least enticed by. Oh, thank you. Got another piece of
more Christmas cards. Nice.
I don't know what it's I think half a heart.
So here's the stat. The line is 7.5 for assists. In 17 of his 22 games this year, he's had at least 7. So you're asking him to get something he normally gets as long as the Spurs are hitting shots. Recently, in his last 10 games, he's had at least 7 in 7 of those games, including 14, 13, 11, 10. This guy is a distributor. So if guys are hitting shots, this will be there.
So the reason why I think Tibbs is mulling a start, if we could actually get into some X's and O's for a second, and nobody's going to want to hear this because nobody wants to see Nerlens Noel in the starting lineup. But the reason he's mulling this is because with Mitch getting put in pick and roll, everybody is focusing on the stretch 5s that are killing the Knicks, which they by the way, absolutely are. And that's a problem. It's not only that, it's the driving guards, because Mitch doesn't have the mobility to stay with these guys. And if you put him in pick and roll, and it's like teams are so good about being able to switch now. If you have a lumbering big man who right now, guess what? Mitchell Robinson's lumbering. So my point is Dejounte Murray, dude can't hit threes to save his life, but although he's getting a little bit better, I shouldn't say that, but he's one of the fastest players in the league. And like, if Mitch is going to be on the floor, it's going to be toast city, and it's going to be drive, kick, drive, kick, drive, kick. Nerlens Noel, we've seen him when he is at his best, be able to go over and bother that ball handler for a moment and then give the primary defender a chance to get back. He has not been at his best that much this year. So all this is to say, if there's one number for tonight's game that I feel pretty confident in, it's the Dejounte Murray assist number. And I know it's high, but that's what I like.
It's another number that I circled along with Julius assists as lock. So I have 3 picks so far made: RJ, Randle, and Dejounte Murray.
Just throwing the RJ one in there.
I mean it. I am taking RJ under points until he consistently stops getting the under in points. Evan Fournier. So the lines for him tonight: 12.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, although it's not as shocking when you really look at it, and 2 3-pointers made.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So in Evan Fournier's last 6 games, he made 6 threes, he made 3 threes, he made 4, he made 3, he made 4, he made 3. There is a streak currently going on of him making at least 3 3-pointers in a game. The other thing is during the streak, he's taken at least 6, and that's the low. Like, it's one game he had 6, and it's been 7, 8, 9, or 10 in the other 5. So there's precedent here to say ride the streak until he gets under, similar to RJ, or stay away. What are you thinking?
I'm again, there's nothing like, yes, they are making it a point to get him looks. I think that is absolutely accurate. And if they're going to stick with the starting lineup the way it is, which it doesn't seem like he's going to be benched. There's no reason he shouldn't get those looks. At the same time, it sure does feel like there are some of these games where either Tibbs, or like there was a clip going around of Kenny Payne, like, what the fuck is Fournier doing when he wasn't getting back out to cover it? Like, I don't feel safe in predicting that Fournier is necessarily going to play more than 21, 22, 23 minutes. If he has one of these games, it's just like, he doesn't, it's not there. And the Spurs are the type of team that could, like, I know they played last night. I know they played in Phoenix. I get that. This team is going to come out on fucking hellfire tonight. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe the Knicks do too, and we all get surprised, and the Tibbs effect is still very much real from last season. But like, the notion of picking Fournier right now, I don't know. It's tough. It's only 2 though. It's 2.
That's the thing. It's 2 threes. So he has to do it.
It's 2. You can push.
So that's the other part is he hits 2, you get half the bet. So
can we come back to this?
I'll star it. I like it. I'm going by the numbers. He's done this in each of the last 6 games. Something we talked about. He's a streaky guy. Maybe points, which was the streak that screwed us last time, where the number was 11.5, and he got 9 in the first 2 minutes, and then went 1 for 14 the rest of the game. Maybe that's too much of an achievement for him, but they're turning him into the Reggie Bullock role on offense now, where it's like, we're gonna get you your 7 3-point attempts a game. And yeah, I think if he continues to make them, then he's good.
I don't hate it. Can I give you the lock of locks tonight? Even lockier than Dejounte Murray over
Yes,
assists?
Please go ahead.
So Derek White. He is currently hitting 28% on 3-pointers this season. Mm-hmm. All right. 28%.
Line is 1.5.
Yeah. It's not a great number, right? 28%. It's not a great number.
But
find me the Knicks game this year.
Oh,
where some fucking guy who's hitting, it doesn't matter, from deep gets, 5 threes or doesn't get 5 threes.
So to that point, the attempts in his last 5 games are.
Can I read them?
Go ahead. I got it here too. Go ahead.
9 attempts, 7 attempts, 8 attempts, 8 attempts, 8 attempts, and he hit the he went 3 for 9, 3 for 7, 3 for 8, 2 for 8, still with the over, and then the last game against Phoenix, he was 1 for 8.
So for the last 5 games, he would have hit the over. So Derek White or Fournier.
I'm smashing
the over.
Smashing.
Okay.
Derek White over threes.
So maybe that is the difference in our flex play is that you take Derek White, I take Fournier, or maybe that's our 5th one and we just don't do an out of town one.
I only have 2 right now. I only have the Dejounte and the White. And then I do want to get a Nick in here somewhere. I
really don't think Randle can get 6 assists tonight.
I'm not saying he can't,
but you're not.
I don't know if that's where I want to put my bread here.
Okay.
Do
you want to?
You want a sneaky one?
What?
So this is funny because I would screw my entry over because Mitchell Robinson's on the board for points.
I saw it. Yeah,
it's 5.
I know where you're going with this. 5.5 points. It's also 5.5 rebounds. 6.5 rebounds.
No, I don't think you do see where I'm going with this.
Under. Oh, did we get an announcement? John's looking at his phone in a way.
Well, Newsday Steve Popper just retweeted a Newsday article from 9 minutes ago saying Mitchell Robinson gets bench roll with Nerlens Noel starting for Knicks.
He's gonna come off the board. I already see it happening. He's gonna come off the board.
But here's the thing. Here's the crazy part. If he gets moved to the bench, I like the over.
Oh, you like the over?
I like the over. Okay. I've kind of hinted at it for a while this year. I just like Mitchell Robinson better with the bench unit. I think he likes coming off the bench. I think he's liked coming off the bench since he came into the league. I know we all complained about it because we're like, this is the best player on the effing team. Why is he coming off the bench? I get that. I don't know, man. I think there's something to it. The numbers have been atrocious all year. The on-off stuff with him, with the starters. In any case, we don't have to talk about it because it's going to come off the board.
Okay.
No, I mean, so I don't know. Maybe I don't take a Nick in this game.
So maybe you just go to a 3-pick power play.
I think I might go with a 3-pick power play, which means what do I want to
something out of town?
Well, there's nothing on the board that I could see, at least, unless I'm missing something. There's nothing on the board for the Nets. Oh yeah, it's because the game already started.
Yeah, game just started. Yeah.
You
got Lakers Celtics tonight is the other option.
Yes, which I'm looking at right now. So no Jaylen Brown for that game, which interestingly enough did not take any of the Celtics stuff off the board. Boston's been playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
They should have actually. I watched the most of the second half of when they played the Spurs like a week ago, and the Celtics should have won that game. And then I'm not going to say his name, but my boy just put on a show towards the end of the game, and one of the Spurs announcers was actually said something to the effect of like, Dejounte Murray has arrived. But
can you go to free throws made real quick?
Sure, I can.
Because there's a taco.
They get you with these. LeBron James 3.5 free throws made.
Yeah. Do you think LeBron can? Oh, but by the way, Dejounte Murray's on the board now for free throws. 1.5.
Well, I already took him in assists.
I figured, yeah.
I kind of want to look up the LeBron's 3-point stats over the last week or so, or since he's been
3-point or free throws.
3-point stats. I will let you know what. I'll pull up his
game log.
Yeah, his game log, and we'll take a look.
LeBron James. So I will say that of the remaining odds, I'll run through them. Keldon Johnson, 13.5 points, 6 rebounds, 1.5 assists. I like none of them. Guy is extremely inconsistent this year.
I like Keldon Johnson though.
I do. He could have like 8, 3 and 0, or take all the overs. You mentioned Derek White taking over 1.5 threes. I like that. And then I pulled up Doug McDermott's game log because somebody has to. I'm gonna assume the only person.
Shout out Dougie McBuckets.
Is he on the Knicks 75 list? Is that why? Shout out. Oh,
he's not.
Just missed.
Neither he nor his cosmic cousin Kyle O'Quinn. Although I did think about putting Kyle O'Quinn on the list.
Yeah, the heart wants what the heart wants.
I mean, listen, I've had like Al Harrington and like Chris Childs the other day on this list. So like, there's no player is like automatically off of it. Everyone that ever like played a meaningful minute for this team was considered.
Real quick, to anybody joining us right now live, thank you for doing so. If you want to help us out, because we don't do super chats here on the pregame show. The link is pinned in the chat at the top. Do us a favor, head on over to PrizePicks and use promo code Film School. They do an instant deposit match up to $100. So they'll double whatever you put in on your first entry. Play up to 2, 3, 4, or 5 picks for the night and try to earn some money on behalf of us and PrizePicks. We'd love to play along with you tonight. So where do we stand right now on the picks?
Here's where I'm at with LeBron. So LeBron's I'm not taking into consideration his first 2 games that were back off of the long layoff. His last 4 that he's played, 8 for 9 from the line, 8 for 11 from the line, 5 for 8 from the line. And then against the Clippers, who are a very good, sound defensive team, 3 for 5 from the line. Threes, last 4 games, 5 for 12, 2 for 13. God, that's what we've talked about that one. Against Detroit, 4 of 9, and then the last game against Clippers, 2 of 8. I actually kind of like both of these numbers: the 2.5 3-pointers made and the taco line of 3.5 free throws. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to do the 3.5 free throws.
I like
going over.
I like the same. So then, okay, where I stand at the moment on my 5-pick flex play, still taking RJ under. Now, this is on behalf of Knicks fans. I'm being the sacrificial lamb tonight. Either I'm going to hit on something he's hit on in 12 of his last 13 games, or because I picked him, reverse jinx is in play. I like Julius over 5.5 assists. I like Dejounte Murray over 7.5 assists, and either Fournier or Derek White over on threes. Fournier is at 2 or Derek White is at 1.5. You're really not feeling on Randle tonight, huh?
I don't know what that even means anymore. I'm just really, this player has put forth 23 games of utter confusion. I'm just being honest. I don't know. No. So no, the answer is no, I guess.
I'm going to take Randle off my sheet and put in LeBron over 3.5.
There you go.
There you go. So
who would know what to do?
Who?
This guy.
This guy is Pat Riley, as John holds up. Are you a card collector? I just found out about it.
No, I used to collect cards, but my neighbors just came back from extended Thanksgiving vacation, and one of them went and found their old basketball card collection in the attic, and they gave me all the Knicks doubles, and this is easily my favorite, obviously. But I got a Rolando Blackman here, a Greg Anthony, a Doc Rivers, a John Starks, a Charles Oakley, and Pat.
All iconic names in Knicks history. There you go.
Even Rolando Blackman.
Even Rolando Blackman. Okay, so the final 5-pick flex play that we're going with tonight. RJ under 13.5 points. Dejounte Murray over 7.5 assists. Evan Fournier over 2 3-pointers made. Derek White over 1.5 3-pointers made. And LeBron James, a Taco Tuesday special over 3.5 free throws made. This is, if you hit all 5 on a 5-pick flex play, you get 10 times your entry. If you hit 4 out of 5, you double up your money. If you hit 3 out of 5, I think you get 0.4 of what you get back. So on $10, if you put that in, or $100 if you get that in, you get 40 back, and then apply the math, so on from there. Any word yet? Do you think the change we're going to get, we got a couple minutes left. Do you think the change we're going to get is that it's Noel in the starting 5?
I mean, yes, I do. I mean, and if it's not, this has been one of the great rope-a-dope days of all time.
You think we're getting an so it should be like now. You want to stay on if to see if we get the announcement?
Yeah, you know what?
According to Fred, we need to know 30 minutes before tip, which is in half an hour. What the lineup is.
Tweet that?
Fred tweeted that earlier tonight. You have to say what the starting five is at least half an hour before tip.
Yeah, they give the sheet.
I can talk about Don't Look Up. The embargo is officially lifted if you want.
I need 30 seconds. You're going to filibuster for 30 seconds, then I'm going to come back and we'll react live.
Okay, so the new movie Don't Look Up that comes to Netflix in 30 days. In about 2 weeks. I think it hits Netflix on Christmas. I saw it with my co-host of Final Review, Mr. Bernard Ozrowski. Leo is incredible. Jennifer Lawrence is very strong. Meryl Streep is doing a bit, but I think she's effective in the bit. It is a satire that is on the nose about how this country would react given a asteroid or comet headed toward Earth or some type of scientific anomaly where we need to trust the scientists, but then politics and consumerism and capitalism get involved. I will keep those thoughts to myself, but I think you will enjoy that movie when it hits Netflix. You can also check out an early review of that over at Final Review if you'd like to support your boy, not just through PrizePicks or hit Knicks Film School. John is not back yet. So let me go through the chat a little bit. Totes Magoats do Julius Randle over 41.5 fantasy points, over 41 fantasy points. I'll wait till John puts his headphones on. John.
Yes.
Barry, first of all, Barry Grateful says, if the Knicks tank, you can pivot to a movie podcast. Stay tuned. Have you ever done basketball, a fantasy basketball?
Yeah, I'm in. Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is the announcement.
It's Nerlens Noel.
It's Nerlens Noel, and that's it.
Yeah. There we go.
Bit anticlimactic. So what are you thinking as of now?
I'm thinking I'm not surprised, and I would be much more. Honestly, I'd be genuinely excited about the move if I thought/knew that we were getting the version of Noel that we saw last season, because I thought for as much as Mitch, we all maintained and opined, and I think we're correct, that Mitch has the higher ceiling and elevates the Knicks defense to a place that Nerlens Noel cannot get them there. And also on offense, I think Mitch is certainly the more dangerous player, an impactful player with his offensive rebounding, his lob threat. Noel's ability to just wreak havoc from the center position in terms of how he moves around the court and how he gets in passing lanes and just, again, moves seamlessly. He has the quickest hands of any center in the NBA, arguably the best hands of any center in the NBA on defense. And his splash plays in terms of steals and blocks really do help ignite the team. They help ignite the fast break, all of this shit. If that was the player that was starting tonight, I would feel pretty good about it. I just don't have any confidence that that's the player, because we've seen Noel A, look injured, and B, just kind of have moments where he's a little bit of a space cadet in some of the possessions this year.
He's looked healthy for exactly one half that I can remember, and it's the second half of the Milwaukee game where they made that comeback. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the entirety of the time that I've seen a productive Nerlens Noel this year.
Yeah, and I think I'll go double check it right now, but that might be the game where I got him some stars for the newsletter.
Is there any chance this is more what you were saying, that Tibbs sees a fit with Mitch with the bench and would rather go that direction? This is more about Mitch being paired with Obi, and you basically have a Lob City light in the bench unit rather than it being about who's the starting five?
No. Well, I think here's how this is what I've been able to glean about Tibbs since he's become the coach here. He likes dependability, and he likes knowing what he's going to get from his starting five. And I think from that point forward, once he gets those first 5 minutes out of the way, or 6 or 7 or whatever minutes out of the way, at that point, he could start to get creative. And then he puts in his subs, and that's usually follows some sort of a pattern. But again, depending on what starters are doing what, like if somebody's hot, he'll leave them in. If they're not, and then it's open season. Some nights Derrick Rose plays 35 minutes. Some nights Derrick Rose plays 20 minutes. Same thing with Emmanuel Quickly. Same thing with Alec Burks. It's like same thing with RJ Barrett. Same thing with like all of these guys are really interchangeable pieces, which is one of the things I think we liked about this team. So no, I don't think it has as much to do with pairing Mitch and Obi. That said, I do like the two of them together. And I like the fit of Mitchell Robinson with those guys, because here's the other thing. Mitch right now, say what you want, he's not bringing a lot of energy on the defensive, really on either end, but especially on the defensive end. And paired with another group that hasn't brought energy all year, I like him with the backups because they do bring a lot of energy.
I agree. Real quick in the super chat, Jordan Bub just said French Prince is locking up Harden.
I'm going to go watch that game right now for the next 24 minutes until the next game comes on. I mean, we all miss the French Prince.
Do we? Are we sure we're not glad that conversation's over?
I'm glad the conversation's over, and I admitted as much when I was not at all upset when he finally moved on, because I was so sick and tired of having the fucking conversation. Mm-hmm. That's how much I like basketball, and like the team that I root for the first time probably in my life came second, because I was so sick and tired of talking about this guy. And I loved him, and I was on Team Frank, and I got sick of talking about it. And I wasn't hiding that. But he's doing exactly what we always felt that, or what most reasonable people felt that he would do: be a really productive 7th/8th man on a good team, a solid team. Would he be getting minutes on a true contender? I don't know.
Yep. I think you're right. I'm able with these things. This happens a lot in Mets world, where a guy that was bad with the Mets goes and finds production elsewhere, and they're like, why didn't we have him? Why did we give up on Paul Sewald or Hansel Robles so easily? And it's like, or it was time for a change of scenery. Like, I believe in that type of thing, and an opportunity can arise elsewhere where you find the perfect role. Now, there's extreme cases like when Tom Seaver went elsewhere and became one of the greatest pitchers of all time. But
yeah, but I
digress. I don't think it was ever going to happen here. Is the point? Yeah, but part of that is institutional failure on the Knicks' part.
Well, but I don't know that
at a certain point, like if Tibbs wasn't going to play him.
Well, so here's the thing. I think it was an organizational mindset that he was a type of guard that fit a type of system that a one man wanted to run. Mm-hmm. And then the commonality of all the people that have come since Phil Jackson left was that he is not a type of guard that fits in whatever that's a more common stance in the NBA coaches don't like playing guards who are not aggressive in terms of specifically getting into the paint. All this is to say, I think it could have worked here if it was a different mentality with the organization. It didn't. The one thing I do want to say before we get out of here and I watch some of this game is for anybody who's like, it's silly to overreact about Frank producing well in Dallas, that I'm actually going to disagree with, because yeah, sure, he's an 8th man. Okay. No big deal. Right. Like those are the little moves that make a difference in making a team, in like the little, it's those little wins, right? Where like, sure, you blew the draft pick, but you got a player out of it, and he spent 8 or 9, like Charlie Ward. Like was Charlie Ward ever really? He was a 7th man, right? He started a lot of games, but he was a 7th man. It was important that he spent as many years as he did with the organization. He helped them win a lot of basketball games. And you lose enough of those potentially winnable moments, and it adds up. So I don't think it's just, you brush it off. I think it does matter, unfortunately.
So apparently in the chat, someone said Nolan Ryan, not Tom. If I said Tom Seaver, I apologize. I meant Nolan Ryan when I talk about
you said
Mets.
Tom Steven.
I did say I meant Nolan Ryan. Pitchers that the Mets had traded away, thinking it was just a throwaway.
And I didn't even call you out because it went over my head a little bit that you were specifically talking about guys before they hit their prime.
Nolan Ryan was like was like a stretch starter where like wasn't even in the rotation consistently.
He was wild. He was like Charlie Sheen in
exactly
Major
like
League.
Charlie Sheen in Major League, and then went someplace else, threw 7 no-hitters and set the strikeout record. So
talk about a record that'll never be broken.
Yeah. Well, the way people swing and miss now, but you also would have to pitch that many innings, which
doesn't he have like 4,700 or something?
It's 5,700 actually.
Excuse me. Like
you got to basically get to 6,000 strikeouts. You basically would need, but like they don't go as many innings anymore.
I was about to say a pitcher would.
Is why I was thinking because strikeouts are up, it's possible. Then I forgot innings are down, so it's not possible. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in to this
baseball
edition of the Prize Picks pregame show. Nerlens Noel is starting for Mitchell Robinson. If you were watching us or just tuned in and didn't know that, that is the big change that Tibbs was mulling. So the lines have still stayed the same. So if you think that because Mitch is coming off the bench, 6.5 rebounds isn't doable because he is off the bench, he'll have more opportunities with the bench unit to get rebounds. It's still 6.5 rebounds as well as 5.5 points. So yeah, check out prizepicks.com. Use promo code Film School to get an instant match deposit on your first deposit up to $100. Prize Picks, it's daily fantasy made easy. Thank you, John, as always, for joining me. And guys, we